what? Ooh, girl, you know what's up. Ooh, what? Ooh, girl, you know what's up.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Jewel here with my healthy lifestyle change. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well, wonderful, awesome, and amazing. I hope you are feeling yourself on this Feeling Myself Friday, because I know I am. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm looking good. I got this perfume on that I love, so I'm smelling good. And I got my Herdy or whatever. So I'm definitely feeling myself on this Feeling Myself Friday. So I hope that you guys are as well. Today, what I want to get into and talk about is forgiveness. Forgiveness, and not just forgiveness of other people. These steps may work as well. However, I mean forgiving yourself. So there are a lot of things that we do as human beings, a lot of mistakes that we make as human beings, and we beat ourselves up constantly. And I like to believe that that's because we have this vision and this view of ourselves, and then when we make a mistake or when we make an error or when we do something that we normally wouldn't do, it's like, who am I? Beat up, shame, because that's not who you are. And I totally understand, I totally get it. So I'm here with a few steps that can help you forgive yourself. Now, I found 2 articles that I read that I thought were great steps in order to forgive yourself, and I'll post them down below because I didn't make these steps up. There are a few that I'm going to add that I think are beneficial. However, I found 2 articles with the steps on them, and we're going to go through them and talk a little bit about them. First off, I want to start by saying I made a mistake earlier this year that caused me a lot of grief. Like, it really made me sad. It really hurt my feelings, and I beat myself up for weeks. About it because I'm just like, how did you do that? Like, come on, yo. Like, I was very disappointed in myself. Like, honestly and truthfully, it hurt me to the core. And it's not just a situation that I can just forget about and throw away. It's a big situation where I have to go through it. So I'm dealing with it, and I thought it would be perfect to talk about forgiving yourself, not just for big mistakes, but small things as well that will kind of build up and eat us up inside. So making peace and moving forward is a lot easier said than done, like, completely. I mean, for me personally, and with my experience that I'm experiencing now, some days I'm fabulous. Like today, I'm great. And then there are some days where I relive it and I'm just like, it hurt, you know? So, one thing I can say, and this is one thing that they say in the article, is focus on your emotions. Identify your emotions is what I would say. Identify how you're feeling. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling remorseful? Are you feeling guilty? Are you feeling shameful? Are you blaming yourself? Even if you are the blame, just identify your emotions. And I'll go a step further and say, write out your emotions. And that's what I like to do, especially since my experience. I have been documenting how I've been feeling, going through these days, getting through it. Just when I'm feeling happy, I'm writing like, today is a great day. And when I'm feeling down, I'm just like, looking in the mirror is hard. So focus on your emotions and identify how you feel, and take it a step further and write it down. The next thing that I would say is acknowledge your mistake out loud. The article says to acknowledge your mistake out loud. This way, you know exactly what you did. Because your brain sometimes can put things together and make it more than what it is and make you feel so awful. But if you just acknowledge what happened out loud, you will get your brain and your body and your mental on the same page, so you can know, yes, I did this. Okay. And say it out loud to yourself. And this can be a freeing experience when you actually acknowledge it in your heart and in your mind. It really can free you from it. And I totally can attest to this, because when I made my mistake, after beating myself up for a few weeks, I acknowledged my mistake, and I'm just like, you know what? I made a mistake. I messed up. I did. I did, and I have to move forward. Like, I have no other choice but to move forward. So it's a really freeing experience when you acknowledge what you did. Acknowledging your mistake a step further is accepting responsibility, okay? Hold yourself accountable for what happened or whatever you did or whatever you regret. Accept responsibility for your actions. So acknowledge your mistake and then take it a step further and accept that responsibility and own it. Tell yourself, I did it. It happened, and it's nothing that I can go back and change. So we have to figure out our move forward. Okay? Say that out loud to yourself so your brain can say, all right, she's ready or he's ready to move forward. The next step in forgiving yourself, I believe, is understanding that you are human. Please understand you are human, and we make mistakes as human beings. We are not a perfect spiritual being, okay? We are imperfectly perfect, and you are going to make mistakes on your journey in life. Do not get down. Do not get discouraged. Quiet the noise, because if it's small, then it may just be you. But if it's a big mistake, then it may be a lot of eyes, and it might be a lot of opinions, and it might be a lot of voluntary thoughts and feelings. Silence the noise. Get by yourself. Acknowledge, accept responsibility, and then tell yourself that this is a learning experience that you have to go through. And for me, that is major key for me. That is the most major thing. That was the first thing that I told myself right after I made the mistake. Like, literally, I was beating myself up. However, I kept telling myself, this is your journey. This is your journey. There are decisions and choices that you can make on your journey that will dictate the direction that you go. However, this is your journey. When you choose that decision, it takes its course. And this is your journey, and you have to accept where that decision took you. So that was literally the first thing that I told myself. This is a learning experience that I have to go through. This is a storm that I have to go through. These are emotions that I have to go through. Something on the other side is going to be beautiful. I believe that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly, I am confident that on the other side of this storm, something amazing will be there. I am 100% sure about that. I really am, because I believe that life happens for you and not to you. So whatever it is that you are going through, it is for your benefit. It is not to beat you up. It is not to hurt you. It is not to kill you. I feel like if you wake up, go to sleep and wake up again, you have another opportunity to be amazing. Okay? So whatever it is was not meant to take you out. It was meant for you to rise up, be strong, learn from it, and continue forward. So understand that people make mistakes, and this is a learning experience that you must go through in order to get to where you're going on your journey. So the two articles kind of align here. Well, at least for me, I thought they aligned. So one article says, express remorse. And with expressing remorse, they have two different scenarios. One scenario is feeling guilty, which when you feel guilty, that means you're a good person. That means you know it's wrong and you're like, I'm hurt that I did it. But there's a difference between feeling guilty and feeling shameful, feeling ashamed to be you. And so the article tells you that it's okay to feel guilty. It's okay to feel remorse for the situation. It's not okay to shame yourself, make yourself feel worthless, make yourself feel low, like you're nothing, like you're not deserving. And that was like literally after I made this big mistake, I really felt ashamed. I really felt like I didn't deserve happiness. I didn't deserve anything. Okay? And that's how bad I was beating myself up. I was really shameful. And then one day, something just clicked inside. So I do have remorse for the situation. I do feel guilty about it. However, I'm not ashamed to be jewel.c. Jewel.c is going to continue to be her. Okay? Confident, outspoken. I'm going to continue to be that person because I know who I am. And there's no shame in that. And then the other article says, have a conversation with your inner critic. So I believe that those two go hand in hand because in your mind or your inner critic is saying you're guilty, be ashamed. You're guilty, be ashamed. So having that conversation with your inner critic and saying, hey, listen, I made the mistake. I know. Shh, be quiet. I know I made the mistake. Get out of my head. Leave me alone. I've acknowledged it. I've accepted responsibility. I feel guilty about it. And now I'm learning from it. What you're not going to do is continue to badger me on the inside. And people might think that I'm crazy. However, I talk out loud to my inner critic. I talk out loud to my inner critic, and I, like, whatever the situation, like before this, after this, if I have an inner critic telling me to be afraid, be scared, don't do it, stop, I tell my inner critic, shut up. And I say it out loud. Shut up. Stop talking. Stop talking because nobody asked you. Okay? And you got to get real with your inner critic. And that's the only way you're going to get it in control and get your inner critic to understand that, hey, we're learning from this. We're learning from this and we're not perfect. And we're not going to continue to believe that we're perfect. But what you're not going to do is continue hurting me every day. So have that conversation with your inner critic and be guilty and feel guilty if you're guilty. However, don't be ashamed to continue on. Try harder, press harder, do more, be more, because that's who you are. So the next thing is to repair the damage or restore trust. And if you can, you know, when someone has hurt you or made you mad, in order to move forward, you want to make amends, right? So if it's something you did to someone else, make amends with that person. Make amends with yourself. Make amends with yourself. Be compassionate toward yourself. Like, we are our biggest critics. We are our own biggest critics. And when we make a mistake in life, we won't let it go. We will not let ourselves move on. We won't. Like, literally, there are some things that I've been holding on for years that I may have put out my brain, but I'm just like, some days it'll come back up and I'll be like, like, let it go. Make amends with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. And here is my tip that I learned from a public speaker once. She said, every day in the mirror, say, I forgive you. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. And however many times you got to say it a day, and however many days you have to say it to believe it, continue to say it, because you guys know that I'm a firm believer that you can shift your mentality. Okay? So you have to shift your mentality from thinking, okay, I'm guilty, I'm shameful, I'm hurt, to I forgive you. I forgive you. Just say it. Just say it. And you may not believe it in the beginning, but I'm telling you, by day 120, you probably will. So continue to say that. Make amends with yourself and be compassionate with yourself. The next thing is quit playing the tape. Quit playing the tape. And I thought they hit that nail right on the head, because the first thing that I said is, I don't want to keep reliving this in my brain. I don't want to keep reliving this in my brain. And at the beginning, when it was closer to the experience, I kept reliving it over and over and over and over. And that was really beating me up. Like, for a few days, I was just out of it, because all I kept thinking was, you made a mistake, you made a mistake, you made a mistake, you made a mistake. And playing the tape over and over in my brain. Quit playing the tape. You did it. You did it. It's done. Move on. Like, seriously. Quit playing the tape. And to take that a step further, quit allowing other people to make you replay that tape. Quit allowing other people make you replay that tape. Everyone wants me to talk about what happened. Everyone wants to know what happened. What people don't understand is by saying, well, what happened? Well, what happened? Explain to me the situation. That makes the person relive it. And whether they know it or not, you are hurt. You are going through it. You are feeling guilty. So by replaying it and saying it over and over just to appeal the emotions of someone else does nothing for you. Nothing. Quit replaying the tape and quit allowing other people to make you replay that tape. If someone comes to you and asks you what happened with that situation, honey, you worried about the wrong thing. You worried about the wrong thing. I moved past it. You haven't? Oh. I'm not talking about it. Unfortunately, my inner spirit said that I can't speak on it. So, oh no. Not today. Maybe next week. Don't replay the tape. Quit it. Let it go. Let it go. And let other people know you're moving forward. And in order to move forward, you can't replay that tape. And if they got a problem with it, that's it. That's it. Because you don't owe anyone an explanation. That's it. Okay? The next thing is to focus on renewal. Focus on renewal. And that means, okay, the situation happened. It's a learning experience. Identify what you learned from that experience. And you know I'm an advocate for writing everything down. So take it a step further and write it down, what you learned from that experience. And then the next thing is, how are you going to move forward in your life? Write it down. Because people forget, paper remembers. Write it down. In your life, how are you going to change because of that? Or what are you going to do differently because of that? Or how are you going to say things from this point on because of that? Write it down. Write it down and focus on the renewing of your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, and your life. Okay? The last thing, if all else fails, talk to someone. Talk to someone, talk to someone, talk to someone. And when I say talk to someone, I don't mean your homegirl who gonna be like, girl, No. I mean, seek professional help if necessary. If you have like a mentor that you can speak to who, knows your situation, or you're comfortable with telling them your situation, do that. Do that, because that's what mentors are there for. And they may be able to give you some advice that you've never thought about, or just ways that you can move forward, and to get past the mistake that you made, and to get past this storm or this situation or this period of time that you're feeling frozen in, so that you can get to your next part of living. So if all else fails, talk to a professional, a mentor, and someone who's going to give you sound advice, and not just give you their feelings and their emotions and their thoughts about the situation. Because it's really not about that situation. It's about you and how you're dealing with it, and how you're going to get through it and learn from it and move on. So seek that professional help if necessary, if the steps doesn't work by yourself. So that's it, guys. That's it. I'm going to link down below the 2 websites that I'm referring to. I didn't read all of their steps, not because I don't believe that they're important, just because there are some things more apply to me and how I feel about it, and some things kind of meshed in other things. So I didn't really go through all of them. However, you can feel free to read those articles and take whatever you need, leave whatever you don't need. But forgive yourself, guys. Forgive yourself, because I know as people, we hold on to a lot of things that we regret. We hold on to a lot of things that we regret, and it may not consciously hurt us because sometimes we forget about it, but subconsciously it does something to us. It keeps us from moving forward in some way. So find a way to forgive yourself, take yourself through this process, and move your life forward, because you deserve to. You are deserving. You are worthy. You are powerful. You are a warrior. You are confident. You are amazing. You are inspiring. People need you. Okay? People need you in their life. You are important. So believe that, accept that, digest that. It's okay to make a mistake, okay? But forgive yourself, guys. All right, I will see y'all next time. Peace.